are adding and then some of his buddies put together the video. And Janelle, would you mind showing that video for me, please? It's under 3 minutes, so it's not too. I'm trying.
No, you're fine.
Okay.
Do not feel like you gotta rush.
Was that?
You don't feel like you don't have to rush.
Okay, thank you. So these are some of the opportunities these kids have already had with the class. That's at Marietta Fire Department. And then some of this was filmed out at Wesleyville, right? So that was another project that the Foundations Firefighting class put together, and again, it was put together as a recruitment piece for sharing with the advisory classes at the high school, for handing out flyers as students sign up for classes, and just trying to recruit because, getting the initial numbers is going to be challenging. I think once we get the initial numbers, I think we'll be good, but getting those first ones signed up is the problem. Although I've already spoken with, I think 3 or 4 students who said, yes, they're signing up for Firefighter 1 next year. And here's the kicker for me, they're all female. And this is a male-dominated world. So I'm like really excited about that fact. I also want to get some males in there, but that's exciting to me that 4 females have said, yeah, I want to take the Firefighter 1 class. So hopefully they follow through with that. If we could go to the next one, please, Joe. Thank you. All right, so hopefully you've already noticed some of the benefits of this, right? This is just a recap for you. But obviously gives them a chance to kind of explore careers. As I mentioned, getting that certification before, as they exit high school, they're going to have career advantages when signing up for different things. Another example of that is one of my EMT students from one of my early classes. Was Mason in your class?
No.
Okay, so I think it was before you.
Before, yeah.
He went on to med school, but when he was in his undergrad work, he actually got into a med program early because he had his EMT certification. So it gave him a bump in that process. All kinds of networking. Cameron mentioned the fact that he's already talked with, he joined the junior firefighter program after this. He's worked with a lot of Marietta fire guys, and they've been super. Like, they are all over helping us out. I run with Devola. They are all about helping us out as well. We've got all kinds of support out there in the community. So I think it's amazing. Some of the things that, I mentioned, we stole Jared from another school. I'll let him talk about that. But working with all these other fire departments, I've got, so at least 10 previous members of the EMT class have joined local volunteer fire departments since this started. This is the 7th year of having it. We've got several on my department out at the Vola, and like when they're at college, when they're home for the summer or Christmas break, they run with us, which is tremendous help to us. Some of them have moved on to become advanced EMTs as well. Every other year, they help out with the promised mock accident demonstration that we do. And then I couldn't wait earlier. I told you about the 2 lives that I know were saved by EMR students. So Jared, if you want to go ahead and speak, that'd be awesome.
So, hello everybody. My name is Jared Farnsworth. I'm a 2019 Tiger proud. I came, as G said, came down here specifically my senior year for this EMT basic program. I had only a couple credits left in high school, and I mean, it was pretty much stagnant for me. But this gave my senior year meaning, in my opinion, really. Like she said, I wasn't just walking out the doors with a diploma. I was walking out with a diploma and life skills. For me, I knew medicine was kind of what I wanted to do in my career, so this was a good introduction for me. And what I found was a desire that I had that was so much more to be an EMT. And later in college, just before COVID hit, I got my advanced EMT certification. I run with Mattamore CMS and Little Muskegon Volunteer Fire Departments up home. I also run mutual aid. I've run mutual aid for Reno for advanced life support. I also run on, from Monroe County Squad, just coming south to Marietta. They also, I help on any truck that needs help. So basically what I just want to say is, especially with this statistic here about 10 plus members joining departments, I just want you guys to know that's very significant in this area because so much of the EMS, volunteer EMS, especially generation, is much older. The people getting into volunteer EMS are not my age. It's not like that anymore. I'm the youngest EMT. If you go north past Newport, I'm 22 years old. I'm the youngest guy we have. So the fact that, G is turning out all these kids that have a desire, not just for EMS or EMS and fire department, this county, I can promise you, needs these kids and needs more programs like G's. It's been, again, also for the community involvement, like I said, for me, we don't have any paramedics up home because they're hard to come by anymore. So advanced EMTs are what we get most of the time. ALS as advanced EMTs like myself have become a critical resource for emergency life-saving care where you need some extra care. So like I said, I love that I can now provide that for my hometown and other communities around me, even if I don't live there. So even though we're really seeing a butterfly effect, because even though I came here to give my teaching and my instruction, it's passed up north and it's passed up more. Like I said, I work in multiple counties now. So you're talking about a huge effect that this program's having. And also, I'd like to speak to the career benefit, like John talked about. I plan to apply to PA school here in the near future. And then my EMT certification and my skills, and especially ALS skills, are going to give me a massive, run up on a lot of other applicants. So even if you have kids that don't come in just for the EMT program, you're talking about you're setting kids in so much of a better path, giving them this certification and training. And especially, I just also want to speak to her, telling you about the stories about the saving lives and about how amazing that is, because I know adults that, adult EMTs that don't have that assertiveness or don't have that confidence in themselves. So the fact that she can turn out EMT students that have that ability to, take control of the situation and save a life, I just want you guys to know you have a real gem of a program here, and a real gem of a teacher. So, yeah, I'm a big.
I promise
I'm a big-
you're not paying
I'm
this.
a- I'm a- I take pay cut.
All right, well, yeah, just give me your account. Yeah, thank you for that. Some other updates on some of our alum who have gone through the program. A lot of the ones who take the EMT class are kind of the more academic and they're wanting to go into nursing, PA school, med schools, things like that. I know I have at least one former graduate who now has her BSN, her Bachelor of Science in Nursing, and works at Memorial. I see her all the time. I take patients in for her, she's on duty, which is kind of cool to be able to do that. I've also had several students go on to OSU and they, as EMTs, and they actually started an EMS program at OSU. I don't know where they currently are with that, but they were recognized as an official organization by the campus. And their goal was to be able to stabilize patients until Columbus Fire got there to transport patients. And I had several of my former students who were part of that on the ground level. So that's the kind of stuff that we're doing out with our students from this program. And that's why I think you should know about it. This is what's happening in your school system, okay? If we can move forward, please. So I just included some pictures over the years, but obviously we've got success, we've got community involvement, and the fact that this is CTE funded, there is some money involved for us. It helps us out, okay? So I don't need to belabor that point. I'm not all about the money, I'm all about the course, but you guys need to worry about the money stuff, right? I don't. Okay, moving forward, please. So again, just some pictures from, so previous years, but down here on the left, so I should have put that picture in of camp. So these guys helped out, and again, this is just a volunteer thing. We have a security team at my church. My church is in the same territory that the VOLA serves. So we sometimes work together. And we did a training, October-ish. We did a training, and these guys, my EMR and Foundation Fire students volunteered to be the victims in an after shooting incident. And he had a bullet straight to the head. It was a great picture, great nuance on that. But, they learned a lot about how the system works and how different groups work together, different agencies work together. And they were pretty excited about it. They're hoping that we do another one, because we talked about doing another similar type of training. And so they're all on board with that. And then to finish up for the night, one more, please. Actually, I have two more. So this is my real baby right here. So this is Tiger Squad 1 in her infancy, okay? This was a labor of love that took a few years in the making. This is an old chassis that Devola had. I bought it for $1 because we kept our box and put it on the new chassis. Then Salem Township Volunteer Fire Department was getting a new squad altogether, and they were just going to scrap their box. And they said, hey, gee, you can have it for the price of scrap metal. I said, awesome. And then their squad chief talked to their guys and said, listen, we've benefited, because they gained 2 or 3 EMTs from this class. They said, we've benefited from this. Just give it to her. So they donated their box. And then the Career Center married them together for me. It's a van chassis and a truck box, so it's not an exact match. They made it work. And so for less than $3,000, we've got an ambulance. It is now parked right outside my classroom. And the school, and thank you, Daryl, for this, all right, he had Ken Straller, and those guys did an awesome job with this. They came in, they dug out under the second floor. My room is the second air conditioner on the right there, so it's really right outside my classroom, okay? So it's undercover, and they put in steps to get to it, and it's just amazing, and we can just go out there. I've got a cot, backboard, stair chair, vacuum mattress, cardiac monitor, and anything else that I can just kind of get donated to me, scrounge around, pay $1 for, whatever. this is the kind of community support that we have. And so that's Tiger Squad 1. That's my baby right there. I'm very proud of that. But this is the kind of stuff this is where we're headed with this program. So I sincerely thank you for your time and listening to me babble on about it. I could easily talk more, but I won't. If you have questions, please ask, but I do appreciate your support for this.
And I would even say, go watch, because it's pretty cool. I've been in that. It's really awesome. It's
And Daryl even had them run electric out to me so I can plug it in to turn the lights on in the back. And if you put lights in under the roof there, the ceiling, so it's not completely dark in there. So it's been a pretty big deal. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
What's been the decline for volunteer firefighters in the county, you know,
Like number wise,
yeah.
I don't have numbers for you. But I know right now the county has put together kind of an unofficial committee of how can we recruit young people, because we need numbers and we have an aging volunteer population, and volunteerism is definitely on decline. I don't have actual numbers for you, but every department is hurting.
I think this is just awesome stuff. One, your passion. I mean, I say this all the time, you live with people, doing things like that with that kind of passion. That's going to be good things. With these semester classes where kids can pick that up and may not even necessarily want to pursue a
Correct.
firefighting EMS
Correct.
career. I feel like having gone to Frontier where we didn't have as many opportunities, but I still wanted that traditional high school experience. I think Marietta gave a tremendous opportunity to capitalize, and I'd like to see more kids hang on our campus. And having daughters who would come through Marietta, opportunities to take neat stuff like this.
And actually, it was just today, some of my ER students were talking about, man, we really like having these medical classes. We wish we had more medical classes. Just to get that little taste of it, but still get the traditional high school feel down.
That's what I like about all this is it go different ways.
Mhm.
Obviously, you have options for 2, but you have an option for like a third, led to yours of, TA potentially where, that's added value to the pursuit of that.
And you know what, we both forgot to talk about it. If you look on that chart, it talks about NIMS. I don't know if you know what that stands for or not. We both forgot to talk about it. NIMS is National Incident Management System. Everybody who goes in fire EMS and law enforcement for that matter has to get certain NIMS classes. They do it online, but they do it through these classes. And so he was talking about how one of his officers at Wesley, they were kind of impressed, like, you already have your NIMS 100 and 700? Okay, you're already set up to be successful with us.
A lot of the volunteer departments like that, they don't have to pay to get that training. That does cost.
Did we open up how did you get your squad down?
So Andy Prim, who's our head custodian at the high school during the day, he's also on Ebola. So I guided him and he backed it down.
So that's another thing. I feel like that whole valley is underutilized.
Yeah.
You see that.
I mean, it's probably not gonna go anywhere for a while. It's probably not gonna go anywhere ever, but they got down there safely. We won't talk about how they from the Career Center to here, because it's definitely street legal. But it ran,
What are you looking
it
for?
worked,
My email.
it's here.
It's here.
Um,
Well, thank you for coming, thank you guys both for being here. It's great to hear, not just from the teacher, but your guys. Thank you. You can tell.
You should be slated for
Thank you very much.
fifth grade. Will you email it to me?
What do you mean? Next.
Okay, next up, we have Mr. Shu. I
Yeah.
think they're, hi,
I'm logging into my email box.
okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Do. Can we record you again with that same presentation? We had some audio issues at the beginning.
When, where, how?
Whenever you'd like. And I'd just be the three of you, and I can record it real quick.
Oh, goodness.
The computer decided it wanted to reset right now. So
Oh, really?
one moment.
Sorry about that.
No, you're okay. They give updates randomly. So
Oh.
this should allow you to sign in on your email.
Okay.
Is there a high school academy like that, or relatively close, like regionalized?
I don't know how many academic high schools offer this per capita. It's typically done in person. Which has been challenging because like the EMT class, when I teach with adults outside of school, I do a 4-hour night. You know, we do 4 hours, 2 nights a week.
Yeah.
I get 50 minutes a day to
Yeah.
teach.
Yeah.
I have finally kind of gotten it down to the right pace. And when I do the fire class, it's the same length as the EMT class, but I just said I have to do a double
There
period.
we go.
I cannot do
That
that
should-
one period. You know, the hands-on skills and everything goes with it. Because I have to do Saturday classes with my EMT class.
Should be
Because
right.
we'll have to
Thank
do
you.
one Saturday class with fire because they have to do a live burn.
Preferably
I
Real world experience?
mean, it can probably be arranged if you want it.
I said preferably not.
Okay.
Depends on what's for lunch. It may help.
That'll be the quickest firefighter response you'll ever have, so.
Jeez. Just hit close on that one.
Okay, got it.
Yes, I will hook it right back up here.
Thank you.
Marietta,
Oh, here it is. Here it is.
firefighters who, like, they bring on recruit for that.
Yeah, when you get, so let's say you get hired at Marietta Fire,
Yeah.
they'll send you to Ohio Fire Academy to get your EMS certification and your fire certification, and you're on their payroll as you do it.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
First of all, I'd like to say thank you everyone for giving me the chance to come here, talk about our proposal to go to Japan. I would like to introduce myself to some of you who do not know me. I'm the only Chinese teacher in the Marietta High School, and been teaching here for 6 years. I still remember the first year when I met you, right, on the boat. We have a talk there, right? I still remember that, just like yesterday. Now it's been 6 years, all right? And I'm the only Chinese teacher here in the Marietta High School. And I feel it's so great. I enjoyed teaching for so many years. And one reason is because I'm the only one. So student has, I don't need to compete with other teachers, all right? So the students come to learn Chinese, okay, come to Mr. Xiu, it's only one there, all right, okay? So I hope one day I can develop our Chinese program bigger, have more students enroll in, all right? So I can compete with another Chinese teacher. All of us, all right, will build our school Chinese program better, all right? That's my hope. All right. First of all, I'd like to thank Mrs. Jade Thompson, the Spanish teacher in our high school, and Mr. Reinert. They spend a lot of time with me, so we go through all the details for this big arrangement for the educational trip. All right. They spend a lot of time. For example, every Wednesday, or even sometimes after school, I really appreciate their help because Mrs. Thompson has students visiting European countries, and we use the same program, same consultant, same company, right? That's a good guarantee for our new trip to Japan, to Asia, right? Well, some people can ask me a question. Why do you want to go to China, go to Asia countries? Why do you want your student to go there, right? Well, right now, this question is sounds to me, it's so simple, right? So one day, when you sit down at your home, and suddenly you see a balloons flying over to you, and something right on the balloons, 中国制造. What does that mean? In English, that means made in China. All right, so yes, this world, not only we Americans here, we have some other countries compete with you. All right, and just like Chinese teacher, I'm the only one. I feel so good teaching here. No comparison, right? I'm the only choice. Well, another country here, stay with us, try to compete with us. All right, and we know nothing about that. Do you think that's safe? That's why when I got my master's degree for teaching Chinese, the U.S. Department of Education listed Chinese as most important foreign language for U.S. students to learn. I really admire their decision. That's so wise, so great. They can imagine after 10 years or maybe 12 years, right? After 12 years, we have such an occasion. We definitely need to use the language now. And we have many students, we Chinese teachers teach them speak Chinese, all right? We're safe. We know each other. Our students know Chinese. They know what the country is. They definitely love our country, US. I'm a citizen now. And you say we feel more safe, right? Together, we need to build a peaceful and beautiful world, all right? Not only we should learn math and science, but also we need to learn Chinese. Right? Do you agree now? All right, so interesting, huh? It's interesting. And here, we got a chance, right? We can encourage more students join us, right? Come to learn Chinese. We have a good opportunity, we have good chances, right? We have a chance to send our students to Asia countries, to China, to Japan, to Korea, to Vietnam, all right? We understand all other countries. We have a global perspective, all right? We make ourselves more competitive, right? And since the rise of the COVID-19, I spent half of my life in China, half of my life in the US. I'm a mixture of these two countries. I understand these two countries so well, but I'm the very, very, very special. I'm a special person, all right? I'm a mixture, half and half. But not everyone is so lucky, all right, to know everything so clear. My older friends, all right, my former high school and junior high school classmates. When I argue with them, hey, COVID, if that is produced by the Wuhan Institute, all right? Or if the balloon, you should keep it well, keep a good eye, let it stay on the territory, China territory. Don't let it fly here. That will many of our Americans don't agree with that. That's against the international law. Don't do that. No, you traitor. They call me a traitor. All right, my former high school and junior high school classmates. I say, well, I'm not a traitor. I love Chinese culture so much. All right, I teach my students learning Chinese. They call me a traitor. I never trait Chinese culture and Chinese civilization. Maybe I betrayed you. I don't know. All right, but I love Chinese culture so much. We use Chinese language. We learn the Chinese kung fu. We learn the Chinese herbs. We practice Chinese yoga. I teach my Chinese students yoga, all right? Chinese yoga, all right? We learn when Americans, we listen to the words from like Aristotle, like Socrates, Plato, Chinese people. They learn the words from Confucius, Lao Tzu, Han Feizi, all right? So many great philosophers and thinkers. They have great civilizations, cultures we do, right? We should know each other well. And definitely, I think we send students to Asian countries, right? Take a look, expand their view, global view, right? Well, explain to the Chinese who we are, what we are doing. Or maybe, by the way, you can take a look into their, make another balloon, all right? After this one's shut down, all right? You can do that, all right? It's just communicate. That's so important to build a peaceful, nice world together, right? So not only math and science, but also Chinese. All right, now the chance is coming. We have the students visit Japan now. All right, we can build together in 2024. All right, before that, 2023, this year now, students need to save money. Also, safety is our priority. We don't let students go to China when the COVID issues is not solved completely. All right, when there's some still problems there, we have concerns our students' safety, right? We don't do that. We wait 1 year, 2024. All right. So my high school student, my high school friends, junior high school friends, they don't call me traitor anymore. Well, they understand what we believe, right? When I tell them, hey, I go to church almost every week, their question may be, hey, what do you do there? Do you really believe in God? If there's no God, why you spend so much, Americans spend so much money to build churches? To me, I even don't know how to answer this question, all right? So they don't understand us so much, and we don't understand them so much, all right? And traveling, definitely, educational traveling, give us a good opportunity, understand each other, work together, cooperate, sit down, have a talk, right? I understand what you're thinking, you understand what I'm doing, that's fine, everything's open, all right? We have international laws, we can talk with each other, right? Communicate well, let's go. That's Japan traveling in 2024, all right? So take a look here. The first page here, we can take a look. We're talking about safety, liability protection, affordability. Then page 7, we're going to talk about educational value. We're going to talk about itinerary specifics, all right? And then later we'll talk about cost and payment options, all right? If you think this is too long, it takes too long time, let me know, I can make it short, all right? If you feel boring, oh, no, so many people. Actually, I send emails to all our board members, right? If you check the email box, you will find it, right? Your English is much better than mine, right? You can find all the details there. So we can give some major point for that, right? To save everyone's time. Definitely, if you have concerns or questions, you can contact me anytime, even midnight. That's my duty, all right? I earn salary, I earn money, all right? I like to help my students. I like to help our district to expand Chinese program. That's my work. Anytime, 24/7, anytime. All right. Take a look at the safety, first page. All right. So safety is always our number one priority. All right. We choose to go to Japan 2024, not this year. All right, because we have some concerns. All right. So also safety is guaranteed because that company, same company, helped our district, helped many students go to European countries. Same counselor, all right, same program, same company, everything same. All right. So we know the company so well. All right. We feel safe. All right, that's safety. Second page, let's keep on going, safety. Let's go to protection for travelers, schools and districts. All right, from this page, you see, we have general liability insurance. All right, and so the parents, school leaders, board members, we all know how we're protected well by insurance. Also, we have flexibility to change tours. All right, that's all included in here, and you have detailed information on the PowerPoint I sent to you. All right, take a look at the next page. We come to affordability here. All right, so we calculate carefully how much that will take. So we encourage parents to like save money month by month. So that's not a big shock to them. Well, I need to pay $5,000 for that. All right. So we have like a next June, we have about 14, 15 months. All right, to give this plan to parents so they can get a better schedule, how to save money, how to do that. All right, that's included in the affordability. All right, let's continue to go to the educational value. At the beginning of the my lecture here, take a look. I spent about the educational value actually. All right, we understand each other so well. Right, we understand what they are doing. Right, well, let them know the international law. The balloon come here. That's not allowed by international law, right? I told my Chinese friends, I stay in America, all right? We're allowed to have guns, right? If somebody comes to your home without your permission, we're allowed to use guns to protect our family members, protect our babies, protect your wife, protect everybody here. That's the law, right? The balloons, without our invitation, come on here. I don't agree with that. All right, take it back. All right, otherwise shut it down. I think it's too late for us to do that. That's why they call me a traitor. All right, interesting. All right, so educational value that will make our students expand their knowledge of the world around them. They know what the China look like, what the Japan look like, what Asia look like. They know which country is competitive to us, which country we can cooperate. Right. Besides, they have a lot of opportunities to have a work after their graduation from high school, from university, right? A lot of the stuff is produced in China. Maybe that one, the clock, all right? Building materials, light, computers, everything, all right? The students need to have a global perspectives, views to understand other countries. All right, and also take a look. The students can grow more confident and independent. All right, of course, the parents can choose to come with the students too, but in the most cases, students will go there independently. All right, they have a confidence. All right, they know they can talk. They can use their Chinese language. They already learned from me. They can use the language, talk with strangers they meet in China. All right, that will make them feel confident. Yes, I'm able to do that. What I have learned is useful, is helpful, right? And Marietta High School, Marietta District Schools give me best education. I can use my knowledge, all right? And number 3, understand new people, places, and cultures, all right? The cultures, civilizations, like Chinese herbs, Chinese yoga, Chinese history, Great Wall, terracotta soldiers, all right? All this to our students are new, right? And interesting. That is an old civilization, one of the oldest civilizations in the world, unbroken, all right? Still lasts to now, right? From 3,000 to 5,000 years ago. Cannot find many civilizations this old, this great. All right, you cannot do that. And if you go there, you're going to find it. discover more about themselves. All right, they know what they can do. They are able to use a language. They are able to make more friends. All right, they know they have more opportunities for their personal development later in the future. They know Chinese. They know the language. They know more Chinese friends. All right, no hostile relationship. Communicate with each other. All right, talk with each other. That's great to know. All right, discover more about themselves. That is so useful, so nice. Bring a lot of benefits to our students. That's why U.S. Department of Education puts Chinese critical language, critical foreign language for our American students to learn. And I'm proud that I know Chinese so well. That's my mother language. And I know English because my father was a English literature professor in the university in China. So I got a better chance than other Chinese to learn to speak English. Otherwise, today I cannot stand here talk English with you. Right? I'm proud of that. I'm a mixture of these two countries. All right. So next page, please. Let's go to schools traveling near you. All right. Yeah, those are sample meals, sample hotels. Now let's go to the schools traveling near you. We have schools around our school district. For example, the Warren High School, the Parkersburg South High School, the Williamstown Middle High School, Morgan High School. They have similar programs. All right. And we have students from other high schools come back from Japan, from Asia. Right? Safe, nice, good. Right? Those can be good examples for us to follow. Right? We don't fall behind. We're going to go as quick as others. We're competitive. Our education is fast too. All right, we can do that. So that is a major point for our arrangement. Educational field trip to Japan. All right. If you have any questions, please let me know anytime. Any concerns, welcome to let me know. I hope it can get approved by our board. I really hope so. All right, thank you so much. Yes.
Thank you.
How soon, the sooner we make a decision, the sooner you can put this in motion
Oh, yeah.
and have it, so
Those-
the better. for
That's
you.
right, that's right. Thank you so much for the reminder. Thank you.
No problem.
Our sixth grade daughter brought over, we'll come to high school next year.
Yes.
And she loves music, but she has to choose between choir for a whole year or 4 classes, one of which is Chinese. We were just really impressed
Okay.
at that opportunity.
Yeah.
Get a taste of something like that in the 7th grade.
Yeah.
Sounds
Great.
right now.
Yeah. I should fill your kid's sketch off.
We're doing that one too.
All right, well, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, moving on to reports and comments.
Thank you.
All right, so just a couple of quick updates, and then you probably noticed that Mr. Fleming is not here, unfortunately. Last week he was home with a sick child, and now he is the sick child. So I've got some things to share on his behalf as well. So strategic planning, we're in the middle of our core team meetings, second meetings tomorrow night. First meeting went, I thought, very well. It started off a little quiet, but then we had a lot of participation. I don't know if you guys have anything to add from that, but.
Yeah, I was really pleased with how well the core team was able to pick up where we left off as a board. We got a little bit of a foundation started with the OSBA, and that conversation started, and then core team just grabbed that and ran with it. So I'm excited to meet tomorrow night too.
Yeah.
Very, very pleased.
And I've been passing along the different slides and things they've been using and everything. So we'll do that. Next up will be We have a lot of interest in our goal teams. We've got over 60 people interested. So I'll do a large general meeting once we've established where those goal areas are. So that'll be in a couple of weeks, and then we'll start working on those goals. So a lot going on, but we are making progress, I think. Well, policy revisions. This afternoon, I sent you guys an email with just a couple of pages. So there's a bonus there. It's only 2 changes in policy right now for the spring, which is really unusual, but good. And they're really making us in alignment with Ohio Revised Code. But the way that Missy, she went through new training, and the way that we presented it, you can see the old and the new, so you know what the difference is without having to have one paper and then search back through all of that. So I want you to take a look at it. I'll put it on the board agenda for the next month, but see if you like that format, because I think it's better for all of you doing your review and comparison. But if you're good, we'll continue next fall, and in the future, we'll continue doing it that way. All right. Calendar. So I sent out the calendar last Friday. Our goal was to look at trying to get some equality and equity with our release times and PD times. So we have increased PD days. We have increased work, what we call the work days, record days. What we found, to be honest, is that on several of those records days, particularly in our K2 buildings and 3.5 or 3.6 building, they've spent time, actually the high school did as well. So at all the buildings, it seems like even though it's records days where they're working on things for, final exams, all those kind of things, they've actually been meeting by grade level teams and working and doing things like that. So this gives us we're going to have really good opportunities next year to give teachers the opportunity to get answers for questions, follow up with our new curriculums, and we can give those dates to Amplify right now, and then they're going to have people scheduled to be here to help support through on. So we've got several earlier in the year, because it kind of doesn't make sense to have PD in May. So we're trying to front load it through February, get through most of all of our PD by then. And I think that just makes sense. And then we've got to set up, the next part for Tim is to set up that cycle then. So we'll have some change. We have new people come on board. They need to be updated on it. So when will that happen? And so we'll start working there. We are looking at doing parent-teacher conferences a little differently. Before we've had 2 nights in the fall and 2 nights in the spring. It's attendance hasn't been great. So we're just kind of looking around at what other districts are doing, and districts are taking some different options. So we had 5 calendars at one point that the committee had kind of directed us to come up with. And what they settled on, which I think is kind of a cool thing, 3 districts in the county already do it. We go to school, but we have a 2-hour early release. And then during that 2-hour early release, we have a period where we let the teachers breathe, get something to eat, and then they have their conferences from that point in the afternoon through the evening. So it's a long day, but it's 1 full day. So you've got some times during the day, because that helps get people here, and then sometimes in the evening for those that work. So we've got it, and it's just 2 days then. We're struggling because we got to try something a little bit different. The other option was to close school for the day and just hold them during the day. But that doesn't meet all of our families because of the evening. This kind of gives us some during the day, some in the evening. So we're going to try it this year, see how it goes. And then next year, if it's successful, we'll continue. If not, we'll look at some of the other options.
Do we want to see more parents come in? But parent-teacher conferences when I was a kid, I thought we went for the kids struggling.
No.
I'm not kidding.
I can tell you that in the primary grades, they want to talk to all of them, especially because of reading levels, things that they, with all the different things that we need to have them be prepared for, getting ready for that 3rd grade guarantee in particular. But I will tell you that my experience as a middle and high school teacher was I tended to see the parents the students who were doing very well. It wasn't necessarily the students that I needed to talk with. So this gives us a little bit more of that option to do some scheduling, and I know there's several that they schedule people. So this gives us daytime opportunities and evening. Yeah. I think for the most part we have good participation, but we want better.
I do being a parent, you're not sure, like I felt that kid or two, they
Yeah.
wanted to see you, maybe as we go
Yeah.
on. In
And I-
career, it's a little less of,
Yeah.
you wanna come, but if not.
And I think there's always times where you can reach out as a teacher and say, hey, I really want you to come here. And here's a great time, and how about if I sign you up right now? And there's always that option, yeah. But overall, though, I think it does keep some things sacred, which is we're looking at our breaks, pretty close to what the others are, but I mean, like this year, Warren was out a week ahead of us. Next year, they're in a week longer than us, but we're starting it a little earlier than they are. And it's just about what you prefer. So we talked about all those scenarios, came up with what we had to have, and then we started working from there. So we've added some time, like the Monday after Thanksgiving, that's a PD day. That's a good day for us, because a lot of times we have a lot of students out with deer hunting that week and stuff like that. So let's take that opportunity, and here's another PD day for us right there. So we're trying to be a little bit wise about how we do things. And so that'll be one for approval, because I have to present it tonight, and everybody has 30 days or the month, and then we'll have one for a formal approval at our next board meeting. But any questions that you may have, let me know. Let's see. What else do we have? And then basically, then I wanted to just give Janelle a couple of minutes. We'll try to keep it to a couple of minutes to talk about the musical. The musical is coming up this Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You have a flyer. I believe that's your spot there. So Janelle.
Yes, thank you. I will steal some of my own time real quick to give an update on Safe Routes to School. We've had some good feedback. As of end of business today, we had 845 families click the link to go through and take the family survey. Comparison to 2017, we only had 17 families participate. 845. And then teachers today, they started the teacher tally, which was a new thing that ODOT introduced to try and capture more of that data this year. That had 101 teachers actually click the link and take the teacher tally. They need to do that for 3 days. So it's today, tomorrow, and Thursday. And they're asking the similar questions. How did you get to school? How are you going home? What paths are you taking? We did have some questions from teachers and kids who said, well, I walked up the middle school steps, but my mom drove me to the old Y parking lot to get to the elementary school. But otherwise, we're getting some good response there. And I think we'll have some good data to work not only with you, Eric, but with the city of Marietta, our partners, so that we can maximize investment of state funds. Okay, so then the musical, and I want to share just the beauty, if it will let me present real quickly here. Let's see if it'll take it. You saw some photos as you came in, and hopefully it'll pick up. Our musical is incredible. I felt pretty under the weather, but have been able to spend some time with them over the last couple of weeks. And the young woman playing Matilda this is the first time she's ever been in a play, first time she's ever been in a musical, and she is hitting some incredible notes, incredible solos. Our students are running lights, they're running sound, and I'll have some photos running through as you guys continue talking, or you can show some to you. I'm kind of blasting them out on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, being slightly obnoxious about tickets because they need to sell 1,200 tickets to break even on the cost of this show this year. It's an expensive show. It's one of those, the bigger title items take more money to secure the rights for. And they have 238 by end of business today. They need to sell another 962 to break even. Now, many shows, you buy day of, right? But that is 1,000-seat theater, need at least 400 each night to break even on that. And our students are doing an incredible job. Really, you're missing out if you don't come and see the show. I'll be there all 3 nights. It's incredible. Our kids are amazing. And it's been so neat to watch because many of those seniors and juniors I've seen performing and reported on their performances since they were half my size. and now they're owning the stage. And they've been reading chapters in Matilda for our bookshelf, digital bookshelf, and they're just incredible. So that's all I wanted to share is please come out, please share. I'm obnoxious on social, so you either see Cody posting about sports or you see me posting about our other things. This is a career tech option for our students, and I had 2 of the audio engineer students offer tonight to formally master all of our chapters and have that re-pushed out with our video. So they're doing some pretty incredible work.
Very good. All right, thank you.
My wife's like, can we go to this? I'm like, we're going on vacation on Friday. No, but make sure to buy tickets. Even if you can't go. But having this in our auditorium, right? We've said it before as a board, that space and how to utilize that and make sure we have it in such an amazing space. So the fact that we're going to have something of this magnitude is really cool. So, sorry I can't be there, but I'll try to support. But
$12 tickets. Yeah. We'll take your money. Oh, and I have to say thank you to Cody. He provided the back end so that we are able to sell tickets directly on a brand new page for music on the website. So you don't have to go through athletics to sell tickets because we work so well together. We were able to write code and make it all work. So thank you to Cody.
All right. And then under Tim's report, he wanted to just comment that the PD day went well on Friday. We had K math session where they followed fractions through ratios and proportions. Grades K through 8, each grade was responsible for their own part of that process. So we felt really good about that. Some really exciting news about our ELA that we just adopted. So he has submitted the delivery details to CK and ELA. Teachers should receive their hand copies in 2 to 3 weeks. And we already have digital access. So we've got people already jumping in, taking a look and looking at how they might want to try to even pilot some things this year. So that's really awesome. He's also ordered samples of some of this to be able to have available for families and parents at upcoming Title I nights that we're going to be having in the building. So he was pretty excited about it. I know he wanted to share that tonight, but and then today he had one needs assessments. Miss Miller and I spent a lot of time together today. She was here for the one needs assessment, which is what we're required to do. Our time is up this year. We're in cohort 3, so we have to complete. This is all stuff that we have to do online through ODE, through EdSteps, which then connects to our CCIP funding about what our goals are, what our weaknesses, what our strengths are. And then we have to connect that to the funding and how we're using our money in Title I and Title II and all of that. So it's a new process that I will try to remain as unbiased as possible. That we were going to have all this information about a year ago, and we got it about 2-3 months ago. They got it all updated, but it really went pretty well today because our building teams had done their work already, and then it was putting it together. And our regional rep that was here really commented that doing it the way we did it today, she felt like we got a lot more accomplished than what some other places have by using this process. So we're not quite done, we're almost done, but we got through that today. So I think that's everything from curriculum. All right. Daryl.
Okay, I just want to bring everybody up to speed. Of course, Washington, we had 2 water lines freeze and break over Christmas break, and showered the first floor. We had ceiling come down. We've had floor soaking wet, and it's now starting to pop up. We've got, humps everywhere. Talking with Brad and Frank, we went through the insurance process. We met with the adjuster. The adjuster looked at everything. He hasn't got back with us yet, Frank.
We should have information pretty soon.
Okay, but Brad tasked me to go ahead. I went ahead and started getting quotes on the replacement of the floor. With that being said, we need to get that floor a little safer for the little guys down there. So what Brad and I talked about was having the company come in whoever we decide, whatever material we decide to go with, have them come in the evenings and on weekends and pull the old floor out and go ahead and lay down some plywood temporarily, just to give them a nice flat floor to walk on. They don't have to walk over the humps and everything. If you've been to Washington, it's an obstacle course around chairs and wet floor signs and tables, keeping the humps, people to walk around them. So I got these quotes. I'm going to get them to Frank on the different companies that we talked about. Cincinnati Floor gave me a nice quote on the whole floor and everything, and I told them that I needed a quote on just coming in and tearing out. They gave me a quote that they come in and tear 20, 25 feet out at night and put plywood down. They didn't give me a cost on that. So, but Ohio Flooring gave me a cost doing something to tear it out and put the plywood down and everything would be about $36,000. Buckeye Carpet did the same thing with the quote, and he said it'd be about $38,000 to come in, tear all the wood out, and put the plywood down. I don't know if this one guy, local guy, River Valley Hardwood, understood what I was talking about. He only gave me a quote of just under $10,000 to do it. But like I say, the guys at Cincinnati Flooring, he just said that they come in and do 20 feet a night. He didn't give me a price. And their price for the whole floor was about $84,000. And then now we got another thing the board needs to think about is, do we want to go back with hardwood? Take this opportunity when we put the plywood down temporarily, just come back with the laminate tiles that we were using. It looks like classrooms now. Come back in and just do that on the floor instead of doing a hardwood floor. So that's.
The plywood would have to come back up.
Not if we go with the laminate tile. No, the plywood would stay down. They'd come in with a leveling compound, seal up all the cracks, and then the guy would just come through and start laying the tile.
We've got a little time on that. My biggest concern is we need to get that floor out. Sure.
Yeah.
And as soon as I've been bugging Frank, who's been bugging the adjuster, to say, can we get started? And so he did get back to him yesterday, but
tomorrow afternoon, when we get back here, I'm gonna have Frank say, can we start ripping it out?
because we know we're gonna have to do it. It's just, let's get started. Let's stop waiting.
Would the insurance cover that temporary fix? I guess if we were. to
Well,
decide to
I
go
talked to him a lot about the fact that, the reality is we can't work while school's in session.
Yeah.
So we know that the main floor is probably going to have to happen in the summer, but we've got to make it safe now. And I felt like he listened to it pretty well. So, because I said it, he said it.
Well, if the laminate would work and the plywood going down and stay there, I would think the insurance for them, that would be more efficient and a cheaper route than putting it down and tearing it back up and putting something else back down. So.
And the other thing is, if that's not going to be acceptable, then how do we accomplish this now? I'm not sure.
How dangerous, I'm trying to visualize what it looks like.
It's a trip hazard, and each over the last month or so, it depends on the day, because
It
new
gets
things
comes up and
come
down.
up. The first week we had several areas, and then the next week more areas, and now up on the second floor there are waves that are up there. I won't say they're not as bad as the first floor, but I saw some of the ones on the first floor where I could stand on and almost be as tall as Frank. So they were pretty significant.
They were bad.
Yeah.
But, and then also, we've done air quality testing down there because a mold issue came up. And company out of Huntington, Priority Home Inspections, did the air test. We were good in all areas except one, and it was elevated. Acceptable mold count in your everyday in this room is 5,000 or 500 spores per cubic meter. So look, every 3 foot by 3 foot by 3 foot area, is 500 mold spores. Our count down there on one end of the hallway was 1,000. And with that being said, I went in and started reading. I talked to the people about mitigation, and we're doing all the right things. We got dehumidifiers in there. We're getting the humidity back down to around 30%. I also added some air purifiers so we'd have the HEPA filtration. I talked to the guy today. I finally got him on the phone today. He is going to schedule another air test. He's going to try to come back hopefully toward the end of the week or possibly the first of next week to do another air test to see if we've got that mold count down, which I feel that we have. But, you know, that, and I sent that report to Brad, so he's got the report from the company if anybody wants to see it. But that's my biggest concern at this point is at Washington and, you know, making it safe for the little guys to walk around and the teachers. Mrs. Cook keeps reminding me she's got 2 pregnant teachers there walking across. She don't want to see one of them fall, and I don't blame her. But then that's my update on Washington. If I've forgot anything, you guys, you know, can ask me, let me know. The only other things I got some questions as far as on lockers. I need to know if we're going to go ahead and finish out the lockers on the 3rd floor at MES, because we got half of them. The guy started installing them over Christmas break, ran into an issue on the way the old ones were installed. He found a better way. He got about, I think, 110 lockers installed the correct way. And he's going to come back this summer and plan on installing the other, I think 100 that we got left over. But we broke that quote up into 2. And we've done the 6th grade side. Now we need to see about continuing on down and doing the remainder of that 3rd floor there. And that would be the 5th grade end. And that's costed like $37,988 for the lockers and the installation. And then the other thing on lockers is the high school. We've been doing a floor a year there. We've got the 4th floor done. We've got the 3rd floor done. Now it's time, about doing the 2nd floor. And I just wanted to put that out there to see if we can go ahead with that. With the supply chains, materials, I'd like to get the order in as soon as possible. Hopefully they can get the stuff before, summer breaks over so they can get in and get out. The guy that installs them, a couple, 3 days and he's in and out. So the big thing is getting them to him and then we'll get them installed. But that's pretty much all I have. Scott would have been upset if I left him out. Phillips. Been out to their playground. Scott wants to add a swing. Got a quote on that. Less than $7,000 for a new swing set out there. But then we've got to think about the asphalt, the playing surface. Back when we done that playground 15, 16 years ago, we put a rubber pellet down and then covered it with an AstroTurf. Well, that AstroTurf is in dire need of being replaced. What I'd like to do, if we do with this, go ahead and get the swing set, is take the AstroTurf up and put down a surface like we did at MES. That rubber surface, and if you haven't been on that surface, you need to go up there and walk out on it. I think if a kid would fall on it, they'd bounce. It's such a nice surface. But if we add the swing set, we're going to have to add playing surface under it. So, and this playing surface needs replaced. So now's the time, I think, where we just remove it and replace the whole playing surface. And that's right at $82,000. to do the same kind of a surface at MES at Phillips, plus add the new swing sets and do the whole surface that way.
What are your other options besides that?
Other options?
Yeah, I mean, like. mulch or-
Well,
What are other-
well, yeah,
other
there's the
plans?
mulch.
Gravel?
Yeah, there's the mulch, but we did the playing surface with the rubber and the AstroTurf because that is all asphalt underneath. That's built on an asphalt playground. And mulch probably wouldn't be the best for that.
We used it for years and it didn't work out well. The rubber, it seems like the rubber does a lot better.
It'll hold up a lot
How does
longer.
it drain at all? It's going asphalt.
There's drainage built under.
No.
Yeah.
Is it rubber at Washington?
No, that is the traditional wood chips there. But that's the city's playground and, you know. And we put the wood mulch on it every year. We put a fresh lining of wood mulch on that playground. But I don't know if the school would be willing to sink that kind of money into a playground that we don't own. It's the city's playground.
I think just in comparison of playgrounds that have gotten recently revamped or, added to it, there's no reason why Phillips can't be doing that.
Well, and, you know, in the past 2 or 3 years, Phillips has been like the, stepchild over here. We've been, doing a lot at Washington, doing a lot at MES, doing a lot at the high school, and Phillips is,
I would be more tempted to put a second swing in and other stuff and figure out a way to do wood chips. You know what I mean? $85,000 for rubber, I don't think the kids care
But that's-
about. I don't
that's-
think they
I
care
hear that's
about
the rubber you're talking about, that's like at the,
at MES, yes. That's a 20-year
it's,
item.
have you been, I haven't been on theirs, but I've been on it in other
The
cities.
swings, we need, desperately need that.
It's nice.
And then all we have to do is every 2 years go in there and pressure wash it, and then we coat it with a sealer, and it's back to. Oh, Mr. Benson, you been on the playing surface of the MES?
It's very nice.
Yeah.
I mean, it is, I agree.
Yeah.
Fell on it, you fell back there.
So, but that's all I have. Any questions?
The handicap swing, has anybody ever thrown that out yet? No.
I'm taking the handicap swing at Putnam. I'm going to have the guys take it down to Washington and put it there.
What about those?
They have a swing, I believe.
We'll work on it. Alex, we'll work on it.
Yes.
I think you have to, the one that's there is really.
And another thing with this playing surface, it'll be a lot easier to shove wheelchairs on it than the AstroTurf that's out there now, because you've got about a 4-inch hump up to it to get over.
Can we bring back the incredible playground?
Go talk to Roger.
That was your input.
That was a great playground. And both that playground and Harmer's playground, right, with the old wood, very big, a lot of good times there.
Well, I'll see
But
if
I
I,
understand why that's not,
Lots of
safe
splinter.
equipment anymore.
I found a student there about 10, 12, 14 years ago, whenever it was there, that got the splinter in his upper thigh.
Yes.
And it wasn't just the splinter, it was bigger than that pen splinter.
Yeah.
So,
There, are we looking at ceiling damage also at Washington?
yeah, I got a company that's gonna come in and read.
Like the inside and like the hallways and stuff, yeah, oh yeah.
Are we like headed towards like, we should consider like, maybe we don't have funds for it. It almost feels like reimagining what Washington is. Or is
I
this
know.
just purely
I know
floor and
that
ceiling replacement?
when the adjuster was there, we started there, but then we also told him not look up. You know, on the first floor, look up the ceiling, because there was master coming down, there's, where they had to punch through to let water through. It was, so all of that there, she's pulling up pictures. That's the first floor ceiling in the hallway. So all of that has been included in this. That's why I said, let's just, we've got to get an insurance claim to get more. Because
Yeah, I'm waiting on the quote from the plasterer to come in and replaster. He done a real nice job at MES fixing some of those walls there over the last summer.
All right. Mr. Winderley.
Good evening. Wanted to give you a little bit of a winter sports update. We're almost at the end of the winter sports season, which is kind of crazy. I just keep waiting for the forecast to change to the snow blizzard here in March. But we've got warmer weather. We are down to boys basketball, wrestling, which will have sectionals on Saturday. Boys basketball play tomorrow in their sectional semifinals, and then cheerleading has their final competition, not this coming Saturday, but the following Saturday, the SSAs. I wanted to give a little shout out to girls basketball. We actually broke a couple of records this year, or came close to. In our first quarter, and why we keep all the records that we do in America, I will never fully understand, but in the first quarter of our basketball game at Barnesville, the girls completed and made 8 3-pointers in the first quarter. That was 1 3-pointer away from tying the OHSA all-time record for the most number of threes in a quarter. Once again, why do we keep track of that? I don't know. There's probably more stats and data that we should keep track of. But I thought that was pretty neat. So we've petitioned the OHSA to add that. So we would technically be 4th best in the state all-time for most threes in 1 quarter. Another one that we came close to is just a local record. We finished with 20 wins, so we were 20-4. Mind you, this is a team that was 8-13 last year, I believe. So a huge improvement this year with 24. And of our 50 years playing girls basketball, this is our 50th season. That was the second most win total we had. Way back in the day, we were 20-3. It's gonna kill me. The coach that was Lindetti was our coach when we were 23, way back in the day. And then we had a coach, Coach Cousins, that was able to win 22. So my motivation to continue here the last time, we can just get 2 more wins. And we fell just short last night against Fairfield Union. But just an incredible season. Kudos to the coaches and the players on kind of that resurgence. Spring sports, believe it or not, we are actually beginning. We had baseball start up yesterday. Yesterday was the first official day that you could start spring sports, which makes a ton of sense because why wouldn't you start spring sports in February? But most of our sports waited until today to begin. Boys tennis will start a couple weeks later. Junior high track will start a couple weeks later. But those are all kind of ramping up. Cruise starts in January, so they've been rolling for a good month and a half now. OHSA, or excuse me, All Ohio recognition. So in our gym lobby, we have pictures of first team All Ohio athletes here at Marietta. And I had somebody bring it to my attention that, the pictures that we have in the gym lobby aren't an excellent representation kind of the success. And so I said, well, let's break it down and see what we have on our wall, what sports are recognized, what years. And I passed all that information along, but I pulled a committee together to kind of discuss it. And it was agreed that finding a way to recognize more of our athletes is only going to bring more pride and excitement back to Marietta. There's something special about walking into your old high school and seeing your picture, your father's picture, your mom's picture, your aunt and uncle's picture. It brings a sense of pride. So what I'm working on is the possibility of keeping kind of the prestigious side of things and keeping our first team All Ohio athletes in the gym lobby, but finding a way to recognize our second team All Ohio athletes and then our third and honorable mention, maybe at different degrees. So there's still more recognition and attention given to those first team All Ohio. So we're not taking away from and diluting it. We're also recognizing some of our great athletes that didn't quite get that first team recognition, because to reach that pinnacle of success in one sport is not equivalent to reaching it in another sport. It's just how the coaches associations decide to break those up. For instance, as a reminder, was a first team All Ohio cross country runner. We've got his picture up on the wall. He finished 7th in his race, which is incredible. You go back 10 years, if you ever wanted to be recognized first team All Ohio for wrestling, you had to be number one in your weight class. So you had to be the very, very best. It's apples and oranges when you try to compare sports. So we think instead of trying to bend or break the rules or creating a different rule for each sport, let's recognize more of our athletes. And I think we've got some ideas on how to do that. So I'll share those with you as we kind of create that idea. We received a little bit, just a smidgen of information about the geotech and survey work. I think it was either yesterday or today. I think we should probably by maybe the end of next week get more of those details so we can pass that information along to you all, and then hopefully pass that on to the Moats group and Osborne Engineering. But excited about that, excited to see what we can find out from there. And then the last thing I'll throw out is we officially kicked off our Twin State League this winter. It was the first official sports season in this league. And just to remind you, the Twin State League was something that we basically helped to create. And right now it includes us, Warren, Fort Fry, and Point Pleasant, West Virginia. The whole reason we created it is we tried as hard as possible to join several other leagues. We're told that we could not join those leagues, and it was either continue on as independent or try to create something. Really, we sat down with Warren and then got Fort Fry on board, and Point Pleasant was down there kind of looking as well. And so we've created this league. We actually have another local school that's very interested. We're trying to get something set up to bring them on board. And I think if we can get to 6, 7, 8 teams, I think we've got real hope. And we actually had another school reach out, and I won't mention names just because I want to give them a chance to work through that process. But we had another school reach out that said if the school that is very interested joins, then they're coming as well. So encouraged, hopeful, and the biggest reason I'll push for a quality conference is number one, it's better attendance. Our 2 best attended games this winter were our Warren game, which will always be the case. But when we're in a league with Warren, that means we're guaranteed to play them twice in several of our sports, once in another. And then our second most attended game was our Fort Fry game. And once again, incredible attendance. And I say that for 2 reasons. One, it's revenue. So it's money that we bring into the system that we can give back to our kids, our athletes, our community in one way or another. But then the other reason is it puts our kids in a special situation where they get to shine in the spotlight. A prime example, going last night to the girls' district semis and sitting in a massive gymnasium at Logan where you've got some fans there is completely different than when you've got a packed house at Sutton Gymnasium. And whenever you're playing local schools that have competitive teams in their competitive games, it's something special. I go back to a couple years back, compare that to when we would host Dover in a basketball game 2 or 3 years ago. If you've ever been to a Dover Marietta basketball game, it's the most dreary game you can possibly be in. Everybody knows the outcome before the start of the game, which we're planning on changing in the near future. But it just wasn't a quality experience for the fans, for the kids, the coaches. This conference seems to provide us with a better experience. And then the couple other things I'll mention is it provides us an opportunity to recognize our kids. So if we're not in a quality conference, we can't recognize first team and second team all conference athletes. I was not a star athlete as a kid. I was an all conference athlete. I wasn't a part of a conference. I wouldn't have received that. It's a big deal to families and kids. It also gives the coaches a little reprieve because there's nothing harder than at the end of the season having to try to pick, all right, who are my 1, 2, or 3 best kids that I'm going to get recognized as all district or all conference or all state. But if you have that conference recognition thrown in there, it gives you a chance to give maybe your hardest worker, but maybe not your best athlete, a little bit of love for the time and the energy and the effort they put in. And then lastly, it just provides you with a quality schedule. If you've got a great team and you've had a ton of success, if you've got a good conference base, not only does it guarantee you're going to get your games, as we're running into challenges filling our girls' soccer schedule right now, because we performed too well this past year, but it also gives you the flexibility. If you've got a team that's struggled, you have more games where you can go play and say, hey, we need to schedule some weaker opponents. We need to build our kids' confidence up. We need to fill in with some easier games. So having that conference schedule, that base schedule, it allows you kind of the flexibility to ensure you're going to fill your schedule, but you're going to fill it with quality games. So that's all I've got.
Thanks. That's it. Any reports and comments from board members? I'll start, other than just appreciate the core team and the planning process that we've had so far. Like Cody said kind of earlier, I think Terry did a really good job of saying this to one of the members that, you know, what we presented to them was the work that we did back in December. And it's not that this is a board vision, the question that she received was kind of, well, this is coming from the board, and it wasn't really about that. It's a reflection of the district, right, as a whole. So it was, I think, that seemed to win over that individual that, you know, we provided something as a board, as a body that, you know, Rusty had mentioned, you know, way back, you know, back in the summer of what is that direction of us, but seeing that kind of, I think, echo in that chamber was really, really good. So excited for what comes out of that after tomorrow. So.
To process all of the survey results and community input to walk through that with the core team will be really beneficial too. So yeah, we can talk about that all.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
Don't have a lot. I've been having some conversations with Tim and some of the information he's been working on the last couple of years on the evidence of the academic programs and approach, and some of the stuff that he's tiptoeing into now is kind of some of the implementation science. What's it take to make sure that we can actually get the evidence-based
programs in place and implemented and on a solid foundation moving forward. So it's kind of interesting watching the evolution of the thinking as we're going past the evidence of the programs to what's the science behind the implementation as well. So,
And to add to that too, I think we met before the state of the governor's address, if I remember correctly. But in that first 10 minutes, he talked about how science of reading and the state's commitment to something like that. So,
We're hoping to see that reimbursement from that commitment.
yes.
I'm putting some money.
That's all I got.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I was real happy with both our presentations tonight. It shows programs that we've, have been ongoing or continue to improve, and sounds like they're trying to add more people to them, which is a good thing. The Chinese, that's kind of special to me. I was here when we started the Chinese classes, and it was a struggle to get them started, and I had the chance to host our first Chinese teacher. She stayed with me and my wife, become almost like a second daughter to my wife. So we still talk with her and to her, and she comes and visits every 2 or 3 years and turned in nice. But I would say that unless anybody on the board had some type, we would add that Japan trip. The more time they have to work on that, the better it is. And by adding, if people know there's a chance of going on a trip, because I think the European trips have went over very well. If people know there's that chance to do it, it may even pick up some people that want to sign up for the Chinese and take that class. That's all I have.
We talk a lot about culture and how, obviously new buildings are not happening today or tomorrow for us, but the culture, threading that needle of, are we having fun? Or are teachers having fun? Are we able to create an enjoyable atmosphere? Because when you're having fun, I think you work harder. But also the metrics of, at the end of the year, do we have a one pager? Do we have these goals that we've kind of hit? I hope the strategic planning, we can kind of get to that point as an organization where we can sit back. You always have that in sports, right? At the end of the season, you step back and you look at how the year went. We obviously have state testing, but I think we need more than that.
Yeah.
I really hope
It should be a part of our accountability through the thing. Yep. I would agree.
Bill, were you wanting to add that as a resolution tonight?
I would like to add it to tonight's agenda, yes. There shouldn't be a problem with that, should there, Frank?
Okay, let that, Dan,
Jay?
Jay, okay.
We'll do it.
Yeah, we do it at the end.
Okay.
You can do it as its own resolution if we want,
Yeah.
whichever way works easier.
I think that's fair. Okay. We'll move on to the citizen forum. Any? Nope. We'll move, no hearing, we'll move on to the approval of acceptance of actions. Moving first to meeting minutes. You have the regular meeting minutes from January 23rd, 2023, and the meeting minutes from the special meeting, January 25th, 2023.
Motion to approve those meetings.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Discussion none. Roll call, please.
Mr. Garrison?
Yes.
Mr. Hutchison?
Yes.
Harmon?
Yes.
Mr. Reed?
Yes.
Mr. Two.
Yes. Move on to financial.
Financials, if you want to flip back to your gold page. 7 months are in the books and 7.5 months are not in the books. So general fund in January was 8.3 million compared to 5.2 million last year. PI fund was at 1.5 million versus a little over $1 million last year. Self-insurance fund is just a little bit under 1.4. January, we paid our HSA premiums, or not premiums, we paid our employees matches in their HSAs. That was a lot of money, so we'll start making that money back up. March is a 3 pay month, so the self-insurance fund should catch back up. Claims have been down past 2 months. Athletic coaches, if you guys remember, we approved $125,000 last month to transfer over. That's why I had that bounce back up. Haven't really bought anything, any same number we talked about. I think we finally got the title of the last bus, and we're going to finally get it on the road. $700. If you turn your pink page, total cash reconciliations for the whole, for everything is a little bit under 12.3 million. Green page spending plan, again, months of December, January are spend more than we bring in. We actually got our first real estate advance on the 10th of February. I'll get another one on the 24th, and that will start to bring us back out of the hole that we're kind of in. So year to date, we are about 533,000 spending more than we're bringing in. Purple paper, just a couple had to increase their appropriations, and then Title I more adjustment. Expenses. If you look at salary for January, they came in at $806 million. Or 463,000 was expected. So this is, we're a little higher than estimated. It's more of a timing issue. If you look back at December, we were a little bit light. This month we were a little bit heavy. So everything is still pretty much in line. If you're thinking about 7 months, 56 to 60% where we're at, and we're right in that realm with all of them moving forward. Real estate revenue, state aid, and public utility. So now we'll see how our estimates will do on real estate. So in February, March, and April, we'll have roughly $8 million come in over the next couple of months. State aid, we were a little less than projected. This month, we're a little bit above projection, so that kind of comes and goes as well. Then public utility, we'll get one more payment for it in April or May. Checks over 1,000. We bid out our paper. We got the same kind of paper that we had in the past. You see, I think 840 cartons is how many skids? 21 skids. Yeah, so we got our paper for next year. And you know, there's some paper that goes through a copier, but like the paper we used to have, we used to kind of just roll up into all. That seems to be doing pretty good. There you can see on this page, People's Banking Trust, that $306,000. That's what came out of the 024 fund for employees' portions of the HSA. I don't see anything else on there. Unless anybody has any questions about something. That
Well, I'm I'm gonna abstain just because life and purpose is on here and my wife does work there. That's something I should have liked too, but even though it's not going to her, it's going to the company she's working at.
She's not getting all.
She's not getting that, no. But roundabout way, I guess she does. So, all right,
Thank you. 533,000 deficit spending. Is that something you catch up with?
Yes, so
By the end of the
so
year?
December and January, we're spending more because we don't have any real
We don't have any
estate.
real estate.
So I'm gonna get $8 million worth of real estate in the next couple of months, and that'll break right back out.
Where do you, where do we expect to be net by the end of this fiscal year?
I think a little over $2 million right now. To add to the buffer, so we started the year about $9 million, we should be at 11 or at the end of the year. And that's a general fund 5-year forecast.
That gets worse.
Correct. It's going to grow this year, next year, then ESSER is done, and it's starting to go the other way.
That's holding that up.
ESSER's taking care of everything.
Keeping everything from
Yeah. Any other questions?
Move we accept the financials as presented.
I'll second it.
we got a first and a second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Garrison,
Yes.
Mr. Hudson,
Yes.
Foreman,
Yes.
Reed.
Yes.
Two.
Abstain.
We can, well, pull her out next. I'm not sure how to get that out, we're just gonna have to abstain. That's fine.
Yeah. I don't think there's a payment that often. All right. Moving on to contributions and gifts. Let's see, whereas B96.9 radio station, 1627 Rosemar Road, Parkersburg, West Virginia, donated gently used coats valued at $200 to MES. And whereas Marietta High School sophomore class donated $1,868.07 and $132 to Team Ashton. And whereas Marietta High School baseball donated $285, $1,000, $1,600, $370, $22, $6,650, $5,175, $153.50, $1,126, $9,000, and $1,285 to Team Ashton.
Proceeding.
And whereas Marietta 7th grade boys basketball donated $2,561.50 from a foul shot fundraiser to Marietta 7th grade boys basketball. And whereas Marietta Athletic Department donated $70 from a clinic fundraiser to the Marietta Athletic Department. And whereas Marietta girls basketball donated $2,930 from the 99 Pledges fundraiser, $175, $35, and $35 from basketball camp to Marietta girls basketball. And whereas Marietta girls soccer donated $100 from Marietta High School girls soccer jacket fundraiser to Marietta girls soccer. And whereas Marietta Marquettes donated $250 and $100 from the uniform fundraiser, and $80, $120, and $290 from Marietta Marquette's camp to Marietta Marquette's. Therefore, be it resolved, the Marietta City School District Board of Education accept these donations, and be it further resolved by the Marietta City School District Board of Education that these gifts be accepted with appreciation.
Make a motion, accept.
Second.
We have a first and a second. Any discussion? No discussion. Roll call, please.
Mr. Garrison,
Yes.
Mr. Hudson,
Yes.
Mr. Foreman,
Yes.
Mr. Reed.
Yes.
Mr. Two.
Yes. Move on to recommended actions. No old business, moving on to new business. think it takes you all the way down to 2G. What I would like to do, I guess, is get a motion in a second, then we'll go into discussion on consent agenda. After you have time to look at it.
I move we accept the consent agenda from 2A to 2G.
Second.
So first and a second, any discussion? I do want to congratulate Mr. Ullman on his upcoming retirement. I did have Mr. Ullman when I attended school here, so. I only had him one time. May not have been the best student, but I appreciate him and I appreciate his commitment to our district, so.
Resolution, sorry, 2E for Ohio High School, it's the standard yearly operation that we want to be a part of. So we have to do that, and it seems like every year they send this to us earlier and earlier. So, I mean, we had it in January this year. Last year, I think it was March before we even had it. So it is on a different time, and when that happens, I usually like to just, share that, so.
I'm good.
How's the driver's ed going? I got to see the car and out on the roads. I guess it's.
I haven't received any updates on that just yet. I can ask Mr. Reiner about, but I know it's actually kind of interesting after the two ESCs put together on this, the one in Zanesville and one in Cambridge that we're a part of. Now, Governor DeWine has talked about, well, this is a great idea. We should do this for the whole state. So we've kind of created a model that has been set out there. So it's good though. Good. It's good.
No further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Garrison?
Yes.
Mr. Hutchinson?
Yes.
Farman?
Yes.
Mr. Reed?
Yes.
Two.
Yes. Moving on to 2H. Whereas Marietta City Schools is the owner of real property located at 100 Fort Square, Marietta, Ohio, 45750. And whereas Marietta City Schools and the Southeastern Ohio Port Authority entered into an agreement on April 25th, 2022 for the right of entry upon and access to the property for activities associated with the Ohio Department of Development's Brownfield Remediation Program. Whereas the Southeastern Ohio Port Authority applied and was awarded funding through the Ohio Department of Development's Brownfield Remediation Program for brownfield remediation assessments at the property. And whereas the Southeast Ohio Port Authority has solicited the professional services of brownfield remediation assessments at the property and has selected a scope of work from Ritu and Associates to perform a phase 1 environmental site assessment and a phase 2 environmental site assessment, and therefore be it resolved for and in consideration of the foregoing premises, the scope of work contained in the professional services agreement by Ritu and Associates, the receipt and sufficiency of which are hereby acknowledged, Marietta City Schools agrees and authorizes the Southeast Ohio Port Authority to proceed with the professional service agreement.
Motion approved.
A second.
First and a second.
Do I need to say, is that so or?
Yeah.
Probably so.
Probably, and then we need to run a number of those discussions past Diana and clarify.
Yeah.
Whether or not that's a conflict for approving checks over 1,000 and for work we do with Southeastern Port Authority, whether or not that's a conflict.
Yeah.
But I would just ask Diana a view on a couple of those things.
Yeah. And Jesse Roush did ask for this to be kind of approved, and just so he feels confident, right? It's a notice of, I forget how he said it.
Notice proceed.
Thank you. Yeah. So, and he was, I emailed you guys that scope. He was talking kind of in the summer,
there's two other properties that they were awarded for this type of work, I believe, right here. So, yeah. Any updates? I think he just maybe sent it to Brad and I, but as we get them, we'll share them.
And we should probably, it'll be summer probably before we have any more. So at least that's what I understood. So,
No further discussion. Roll call, please.
Mr. Garrison,
Yes.
Hutchinson,
Yes.
Harmon,
Yes.
Reed,
Abstain.
2.
Yes. Moving on to 2I. Whereas the Board of Education previously hired Pickering and Associates to oversee the roof project to be completed at 401 Washington Street, Washington School, and 300 Pike Street, Phillips School. And whereas after careful consideration, along with Pickering and Associates' recommendation, Tri-State Roofing and Sheet Metal has been identified as recommended general contractor. And whereas the board will negotiate a lump sum fee contract for base bid of 2 building roofs, one at Washington Elementary and one at Phillips Elementary, and in addition, unit pricing for 1, wood blocking at $9.50 per square foot, and 2, metal decking at $16 per square foot, and thick wood roof deck at $14 per square foot. And whereas to move forward with this project in a timely manner, it is recommended that the Board of Education authorizes to award a contract for Washington Elementary roof at $386,770 and Phillips Elementary roof at $559,940. And therefore be it resolved that the Marietta City School District Board of Education authorize the administration to award the contract for Washington roof and Phillips roof replacement and repair.
So moved.
A second.
Got a first and a second. Any discussion? What's the timeline on the?
It'll be done before we come back to school.
Yeah. And the goal is
I think it's August
Yeah,
14th, 15th.
we gave them about 10 days prior to school starting, but the goal is by doing it now, they can get
Materials.
materials and then
Yeah.
they're ready to go as soon as school's out,
Uh,
essentially. But knowing that we have some summer programs, they will set up areas for entry and all that kind of stuff. And like, like where the vestibules are and stuff like that.
Yeah. No other discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Garrison,
Yes.
Mr. Hutchinson,
Yes.
Harmon,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
2.
Yes.
Would like to add for 2J, resolution, whereas the Marietta High School Chinese Language Program has proposed a cultural trip to Japan in 2024, whereas the Marietta City School Board of Education has a high value for enriching the experience available to our students. Be it resolved that the Marietta City Schools Board of Education approves proceeding with the planning for the proposed trip.
We'll either identify the dates of that, if there's certain dates, but that.
He actually, it was June.
Yeah, it's in the package.
It's in the, yeah, it's in there.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
June 21 or something.
21st of July.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Yep. Had the dates do that.
Okay.
Okay. I'll move to approve the resolution as read.
Yeah, would you like to add that with the added date, start date?
Yeah.
Okay.
You made that motion.
Yeah, I'll
In a
make-
second.
Yep.
June 17th to,
The proposed date is
okay.
that one.
Yeah.
That's just the flexibility they have. They have to move it around.
If they have to
Okay.
move it around, flights and that, so, okay.
Good call.
I'll second that.
We've got a first and a second.
Yep.
Roll call, please.
Garrison,
Yes.
Mr. Hutchinson,
Yes.
Harmon,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
2.
Yes.
Thank you.
Well,
I'm still here.
Thank Russ. Thank Russ. Mine wouldn't have been near
And it
as.
should not be long, and there will be no.
Hey, what's it take to get it to be a historic? Historic structure.
a lot, yeah.
Like, where does Rock, Washington fit in there? 110 years old?
11.
It goes to the historical societies and things like that, and be careful what you ask for.
Okay. So
Heck is-
you don't want that then?
Yeah.
I didn't know if it would help.
Not
No.
now. Yeah.
No, not at this.
It massively limits what you can do
Really?
with the building, interior, exterior and stuff like that, so.
I believe we have plans to go into executive session, so. Briefly. So I will move to enter into executive session for reason number 2 and for number 12.
We had number 8.
Number 8, 2, 8, and 12.
I'll second that motion.
We have a first and a second. Roll call, please.
Garrison,
Yes.
Hudson,
Yes.
Farmer,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Toots.
Yes.
801.
501.
Thanks, everybody.
Wait, action after.
Nope.